Hey everybody, welcome back to Movieverse. My name is Brian, and I will be doing a non-spoiler review for Captain America Civil War right now. I just got out of the showing, what was it, like 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago? And I sat through the credits trying to formulate the way that I could say this. And when the credits started, I had this initial thought in my head, and while the entire credits rolled, so about 5-6 minutes, I was trying to think of anything that would disprove what my initial thought was. And my initial thought was this: that for me personally, Captain America Civil War was the best Marvel movie to date. And when I say that, I mean better than any of the standalone movies and better than any of the Avengers team-up movies, or any team-up movie if you include Guardians of the Galaxy in the team-up movie. Now, going into this movie, I had already had an idea of what I thought Civil War was and what it could look like. And when I did my initial trailer reaction to Captain America Civil War, I was kind of confused and I was kind of underwhelmed, if you guys remember going back that far to that first initial trailer, because I wasn't sure whether this was going to be a storyline centered around Bucky or a storyline centered around the Sokovia Accords. And this will be a non-spoilers review, so I'm not going to tell you what the case is for this movie, but I will say that it handled both of those things extremely well. Now, let's talk about a couple of the characters, because I've already told you I think it's the best Marvel movie that I have ever seen, and I'm going to get a lot of flack from DC people. I gave Batman v Superman a positive review. I'm putting that out there now, but this movie is better. And I don't mean that as a slight against Batman v Superman, because I really enjoyed Batman v Superman. But watching this movie, the only things I could think of that really bothered me in this movie, and this is not a spoiler, is just some of the CGI and a couple different frames or scenes for me weren't cleaned up as much as I would have liked to have seen them. And that's very technical and that's very nitpicky. For me personally, I really enjoyed all of the characters that were in this movie, and I mean all of them. Any of the characters that you've seen in the trailer, they have gotten plenty of screen time. They all have their point. They all have their moment in the spotlight. Nothing of it seems diminished. They all have these personal arcs. Like, literally, like, everybody in these movies have their own personal arc that works really well. And even some characters that you haven't seen in the trailer, I really enjoyed that character as well. I'm not going to say who that character is for spoiler reasons. But what I will say is that Spider-Man was handled very well. Now, I will preface this by saying that I haven't read a lot of Spider-Man comics, but I have done my research on the character. I've listened to other people about who have read a lot of Spider-Man comics and how he acts and reacts and would interact with certain characters. And I will say that if what these people have told me is true, that the way that Spider-Man acts and reacts and interacts with people in this movie is spot on. The issue between Captain America and Iron Man is very complex, and the way that it is handled was done in a way that I didn't expect, and there are very good reasons why these two people are fighting. You see where in the trailer where Captain America and Bucky the Winter Soldier are fighting Iron Man, there is a very good reason why that fight happens. It is very emotional and very powerful, and I think that's something that Marvel has earned over these years since the first Iron Man movie. They have developed relationships between the characters on screen and the audience themselves. And when you have that type of emotional connection to the characters, that creates drama all on its own when you start to develop these types of stories. And there's plenty of moments in the movie where everybody was cheering. Black Panther, a great character, handled very well, and a complete badass in this movie. Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, all badasses. Ant-Man, he even has his moment to shine, and it's great. He has great humor in the movie as well, and I really enjoyed that. Spider-Man has some really good humor in this as well. Falcon, amazing. All these characters that we've seen in the trailers are handled so well. I don't even know how to explain it. And this is going to be blasphemy, but like I said at the beginning of this video, I think it is the best Marvel movie to date, in my opinion. Now, once I see the movie again, we'll see if that changes or not, but as it stands right now, my initial reaction to this movie is that it is the best Marvel movie to date. That is better than Iron Man 1. That is better than Captain America Winter Soldier. That is better than Guardians of the Galaxy, better than the Avengers. I can list the rest of the MCU movies if you want me to. But the way that they handled the Russo brothers, I have to give them so much credit. And the writers, Marcus and McFeely. The way that they handled all of these characters, because there are more big hero characters in this movie than there was in the first Avengers, than there was in Avengers Age of Ultron, than there was in Captain America Winter Soldier, or any other movie. This movie had so many characters in it, and you saw it in the trailers, and they handled it so well to where you didn't feel like any of them got gypped out of screen time. The story still flowed smoothly. I never got jarred out of the movie because of something that didn't flow correctly. Like I said, the only thing that I could pick out from this movie that kind of bothered me was there's a few shots of CGI that I would have liked to have been cleaned up. And we all know that Daniel Bruhl is in this movie. And he hasn't been shown in any of the trailers or anything like that. His character is very mysterious, and they've kept it that way. And so I'm not going to tell you who he is or what he does in this movie. But all I can say is that I've heard people who've had issues with his character through the social media reviews and stuff like that. I haven't personally watched any other reviews because I wanted to go into this fresh and with my own opinions afterwards. But I actually thoroughly enjoyed Daniel Bruhl's character, and that might contradict some what other people have said. I don't know, but I thoroughly enjoyed the way that his character was portrayed in the movie. What his character did in this movie plays a very important role. I'll put it that way. But like I said at the beginning, this movie, for my money, is the best Marvel movie to date. And you could say, oh, well, you're just saying that because you just got out of the movie. I got out of the movie 56 minutes ago now. And I have been thinking about it a lot, comparing it to Avengers, comparing it to Winter Soldier, which were two of my favorite Marvel movies before this one came out, and before I watched this one. And, Winter Soldier was a much more grounded, gritty, political thriller of a movie. And this is very much a comic book movie. It is, like the Russo brothers have called it, a psychological thriller. And I would almost call it a geopolitical thriller. And even with all of that, even with all these Avengers characters, over 10 Avengers characters I think are in this movie. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm not going to count them all out right now. But even with all those characters, all those moving parts, all these, storylines that are going on, it still stays definitively a Captain America story, and a very emotional and powerful story at that. The ending of this movie is very powerful for me. I don't know what else I can say without spoiling the movie, except to go and see it. You owe yourself to go and see this movie. And I know that there are going to be some fans of DC out there, or DC fans only, who are already going to shoot this movie down. Unfortunately, because Batman v Superman got negative critic reviews earlier in the year, and they feel kind of slighted or something in some way. And I don't even want to talk about that. I'm just saying, this movie specifically, you owe yourself, if you want to see a comic book movie done right. And I don't know how they can improve upon this movie for Infinity War, because you always want the movies to get better. But this movie blew my mind, and I know that's a cliche phrase, but it really did. And oh God, I'm sitting here trying to think of how I'm going to score this movie, and I'm not going to say it's, one of those classic movies like Schindler's List or any of those types of things. But I think in the comic book movie world, this is one that people are going to look back at. Now, I'm going to score this movie, and this score could change when I've seen it again and when I can give it some more thought. But as of right now, God, I'm still trying to think of what I'm going to score this thing. As of right now, I give this movie a 9.8 out of 10. And the only reason why I'm not giving it a 10 is because, one, movies are subjective, and there is no perfection in movies or any kind of art. There's no perfection. But other than that, there's the couple of shots of CGI that I thought could have been cleaned up. And I'm leaving myself some leeway as to whether or not my score is going to change on my second viewing. But as of right now, this is the best Marvel movie that I have seen to date. Better than the Avengers, better than Winter Soldier, better than Iron Man. And I am going to go see this movie in the theaters multiple times. I don't know how many times, but multiple times. I can tell you that right now. And the only disappointment from this movie is that I have to wait another 21 days until I have the opportunity to see it again. If you guys like comic book movies, if you guys like these characters, go see this movie. Judge it for yourself. If you like it so much that you want to see it again, go see it again. Support this movie. Just like the fans wanted to support BVS, I supported BVS. I saw an early screening that I didn't have to pay for. I paid for a ticket to go see it again because I enjoyed it that much. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. But guys, thank you so much for watching this review. Most of you have not seen it yet. If there are any subscribers who have seen it, let me know what you would score it down below. I hope that this spoiler-free review was enough of spoiler-free for your taste. I don't think I spoiled anything that happened in this movie, but I tried to give you my mindset onto why I think that it is the best Marvel movie to date. The way it handled all of the characters and how all the characters are supposed to act or would act was done very, very well. The way that they handle Spider-Man in this movie is great. It is great. And I cannot wait until we see the Spider-Man movie, the Black Panther movie, the Ant-Man and Wasp movie. Any of these movies, like this movie also did a really great job of continuing to build this world. And oh my gosh, guys, I don't know what else to say about this without spoiling it. So I'm going to wrap it up. So like I said, I scored this movie a 9.8 out of 10, and I thought long and hard about what I liked or didn't like about this movie, and I found that there was not hardly anything that I did not like about this movie. I liked the villain. I liked the main characters. I liked how they told the story, how different characters played into the story. The action was I didn't even mention the action. Oh my gosh, that just goes to show you, the action in this movie was crazy. As Michael Pena would say in Ant-Man, Luis, crazy stupid fine. The action was crazy stupid fine in this movie. I don't know how else to explain it. And so yeah, action was great. Characters were amazing. The story flowed very well for me personally. Was very powerful, very emotional. 9.8 out of 10. And I can't wait to see this movie again and see if some of my opinions change or if it stays glued. I will update that score when I see it again. We will be doing a spoiler-filled review after the movie has released. We'll probably post it probably like the Monday or Tuesday after the movie has released. That way I give you guys some time to see the movie before you come and watch the video. But like I said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, click the thumbs up button. Comment down below if you have seen it, what you thought or what you think of my review of the movie. If you guys want to see more videos from Movieverse, subscribe to our channel. You can go to movieverseonline.com to see our written articles, movie breakdowns, movie reviews, trailer breakdowns, that type of thing. A lot of videos on this channel with, reaction videos, movie reviews, movie news segments. There will not be a movie news segment this Sunday because I have to finish up some projects for the final week of classes next week. But then after that, hopefully we can getting into a rhythm with the movie news shows again. Trailer reaction, movie reviews, movie news, that kind of stuff here on this channel. Like I said, movieverseonline.com. You can go to facebook.com/movieverseonline to like our Facebook page. You can go to Twitter at Movieverse2 to follow our Twitter, and you can go to Instagram at MovieverseOnline to follow us on Instagram. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I am so blown away by what this movie did for me personally and what it did with the characters that I've been emotionally attached to for the past 8 years now, 2008 to 2016, 8 years now. This movie did a great job. The Russo brothers, my hat's off to you. I cannot wait to see what they do with Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. If they do direct both of them, which I do think they will be. And with the writers, Marcus and McFeely writing Infinity War. This movie was an amazing experience, and I don't know how else to say it. I saw it in 2D, not IMAX. It was in a smaller theater. I was actually surprised I was in a smaller theater. But it was a great movie. Go and see it. Come back to the channel, and let's talk about it, guys. I'll catch you next time.